All right. So we're going to draw 4 different cams. This first one's called eccentric cam. And the first thing you need to do is draw a big circle. I'm going to make it 3.5 inches wide, but really you can make yours 4, but it's got to be reasonable, right? But like, 2, 3, 4 inches. And the square that you draw, we're going to put the shaft in there, that you rotate. And it's going to be a 1/4 inch shaft, 1/4 by 1/4 inch. So, oops, I don't know why it gave me an angle there. And 0. So it's a 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch on each side like this. And it's going to spin this big circle like oddly shaped, very similar to our video that we just watched right here, where we saw this cam rotate right here.
Follower will be in its lowest position, which we'll call. Let's investigate how we adjust the cam so that the position of the follower.
So you see how it rotates.
This process of marking.
So it's rotating here, and this big side is getting higher up. And this shaft right here is a circular one. I can see it right there. It's a little circle one. Ours is going to be a square shaft. That's the ones I have in class. I actually have a 1/4 inch piece of wood dowel. Next thing I'm going to do is make sure it's centered right on this center line right here. You guys see the center line right here? I need it centered on that. There's a couple ways to do it. Let's see if I can do one real quick. I'm going to say horizontally. I don't see the center dot here. So I'm going to not do this method. I'm just going to do the dimensioning method where I take this line to this line and say that it's 0.25 divided by 2. Because the width of this thing is 0.25, and so it should be half of it will put me in the center. Now, this distance from here to here, let's say from here to here, this one just depends on what you want your cam to do. If you have it like this, a 1/2 inch, it's not going to rise your follower, the stick follower on top. It's not going to rise it very much. And then if you have it like this, 1.2 inches, it's going to be a big noticeable difference when it's rotating. So it depends what you want. So I'm going to go ahead and put it 1.2 inches. And that's all there is to this thing, except, of course, we should extrude it. So we're going to say extrude. And then I'm not going to extrude an inch. I'm going to do a 1/4 inch because I'm going to pretend like I'm going to laser cut this out of wood or something that's a 1/4 inch wood. And there's my cam. I just stick the shaft through this square and this thing rotates. By the way, notice that this part is called part 1 right here, right? On the side. So I'm going to say, I'm going to rename this and call it eccentric cam. I think that's how you spell eccentric cam. So here's eccentric cam. Now I can go ahead and hide it. You see how it's gone? It's not really gone. It's right here. I'm just going to hide it because I'm going to draw a new part. So I'm going to sketch. And now we'll do the hexagonal cam. You see this right here where it says polygon? We're going to click that. And we're going to click here. And you can choose how many sides it has. Since it's hexagonal, it should have 6 sides. And then, of course, you could change the size of it, the overall size. And I'm going to say it's like 3.75 inches. But, honestly, you can choose anything. I try to keep them all similar in size. I would say between 3 and 4 inches or something. And then you can fillet them now, the edges, but you don't have to. It's up to you. You can do it later in 3D if you want. So now that we know the size, we should also set the angle. We could probably set the angle. Let's see. I'll put 60 degrees. There we go. And now it's pretty much centered. Now, but we're missing where our shaft goes. So I'm going to put a square here. And I'm going to make it a 1/4 inch because remember that's how big the wooden shafts that I have. They're called dowels. I have 1/4 inch dowels. Oh, there we go. And there it is. I got my 1/4 inch hole there. but it's not centered. It's not centered. It looks pretty centered from far away, but if I zoom in, it's not centered. You guys should know how to center it. We're going to click the outer edge, the dot, and kind of say 0.125. Or you didn't have to say 0.125. You could have said half of 0.25, which is the same thing, actually. So then I'm going to go on this side and do the same thing. 0.25 divided by 2, which is the same thing. It's 0.125. Once you're all done, click check mark. And we're going to extrude this 1/4 of an inch, just like I did before. The only difference is before you finish this, definitely you wouldn't want these sharp edges on a cam. You want some smooth transitions. So I would click fillet and do whatever looks nice. That actually looks pretty nice. So, I mean, it's nice enough for me. I like it. So I'm just going around clicking all the sides of those little corners. And once you're done clicking them all, my thing keeps going further and further away, just double click. Oh, click, sorry, fillet, just click the check mark right here. And now I got those smooth transitions. That's part 2 right here. So I can go ahead and rename that and call it hexagonal cam. I think that's how it's spelled. And I can go ahead and hide that. Because you see they're on top of each other right now. So I can go ahead and hide them like that. And then go ahead and draw your next cam, which is the, let's say, the pear shape. The pear shape is going to be the hardest one. Are you guys ready for it? It is the hardest one, but it's kind of fun to make, actually. Sketch. And then we're going to click this plane. Rotate the plane towards you. We're going to start with one big circle. Let's say it's 2 inches. Then we need another circle right above it. You see how I'm lined up right now perfectly? See, when I move to this line, it kind of dots. That's what I want. If you don't do that, you guys see how it's like orange right there or yellow? Let's say you didn't do that. You can add that in later. Watch this. I'll show you how to do that. So let's say you didn't do that. You accidentally put it over here, right? And then you said, hey, you're going to be, let's say, 1 inch. If you screwed up and didn't line these up, then all you have to do is go over here to vertical constraint right here. Vertical, and then click this dot, and they'll be vertically constrained. Okay? So it doesn't matter if you didn't do what I was going to do. You can just do it like that. Next thing we're going to do is make sure that we decide how far apart these are. I'm going to say, let's say 1.75. 1.75 inches is good. Then watch the magic. This is going to be fun. We're going to go over here and get a line, and it doesn't matter the length of this line. Just make sure it's plenty long, okay? Like that. Make sure that it's plenty long. Same thing with this one on this side. Make sure that that line is plenty long, like that. It doesn't matter the exact length. As long as it hangs off, we're going to be trimming it up anyway. Then watch this cool constraint. Let's go over here to where our constraints are. Look at all these constraints. Make sure things are horizontal, vertically to each other. Make sure they're perpendicular, midpoints normal to themselves, concentric, coincident. We're using this one right here, tangent. Tangent means the line will touch the circle but not go through the circle. So watch this. I click this line and click the outside of the circle, and there it is. Then I click this line and say you also have to be tangent to this circle. Now this line touches both circles. I need to do that to this one. This line, this circle, this line, this circle. There we go, beautiful. We're all done, except we need to trim it up. So please pay attention to this one, otherwise you'll get very confused. So if you're in the middle of drawing this, I would pause for a minute and just look at this, what I do all at once, because this is going to go really quick. We're going to trim this all up. As of right now, you have two circles, a big one, a small one. They're 1 inch and 2 inches big. They are 1.75 inches apart, and they're perfectly on top of each other. In other words, they are vertically constrained right here. They're vertically constrained. Then I have two lines, and they are both tangent constrained to the circle. So I click the line, the circle, the line, the circle, the line, the circle, the line, the circle, and they are touching the circles. So here we go. This is going to go really fast. I'm going to go to the scissors. Let's find them first. I think they're here. And we're going to go to scissors. It's called trim. So I have to click this where the fillet was. And I'm going to click trim. And watch this happen. I'm going to trim this piece, trim this piece, trim this piece, trim this piece. Then I'm going to trim these two pieces right here. You guys see these ones that I'm highlighting? I'm going to trim those. One here, one here. And we're done, except one thing. We forgot our shaft. So let's click the square. And we need a shaft, like a slot to put our shaft in. Oops, I have the angle here. Yeah. Remember, these are 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch. And then we got to center it. There we go. There's your pear-shaped cam with a square that is 0.25 by 0.25, and it's 1/8 of an inch and 1/8 of an inch away from the center, so that way it's perfectly centered here. And then, of course, all we have to do is extrude it. Click that. And we'll extrude it the same as the other ones, which was a 1/4 of an inch. And we're done. We have a nice pear-shaped cam. I think that one looks more like a pear than the other one did. The other one in the video looked more like the one in the video, the pear-shaped cam looked like an egg, right? This one right here. But they can look like this. This is a pear-shaped cam. I think the two circles, the big circle and the little circle, they're just a little close. In fact, the two circles, technically, you could even make them overlapping and it'd still be a pear-shaped cam. All right, what's the last one we have to do? What was it? I said what they were. A snail cam. This one's going to be tricky. If I screw this one up, we'll skip it because it's a little tricky for me to do an on shape sometimes. I'm going to go to rename this one and call it pear-shaped cam. And then I'm going to go ahead and hide it. And then I'm going to go here to isometric view, sketch, click here, and rotate around to it. All right, let's see if I can do this, folks. First thing I'm going to do is go to a 3-point arc. And I'm going to click here. I'm going to click here. And I'm going to click here. Am I? Oops, maybe I'm not going to do that. Maybe I'll do it over here. I think I'm going to do it here to here to here. And let's make sure that it's a certain distance. Let's actually go to coincident right here. This top constraint called coincident. And I want to make sure that this dot is right here. I'm gonna try that. I'm trying something new a little bit, but let's see if this works. Then, of course, let's constrain this thing up. Like, for example, the radius of this thing, let's make sure it's 1 inch. And then we're going to, it's fully done, it's fully constrained. At this point, if it's black, there's nothing else you can do to it. So let's just leave it at a 1 inch radius. So it's a 1 inch radius sweeping from here to here. Next, let's draw a line from here to here. And how long is this line? We'll say it's 2 inches. All right. So it's 2-inch line right here. Actually, that's too long. That looks way too long. I'm going to go with a 0.75 line. There we go. We'll do 0.75. I'm trying to make it look a little bit more like the other one. You could technically do a 2-inch, but you know, it's going to hang out a lot. But you can play with this and do a 1-inch or whatever you want. Now the tricky part is we got to make an arc that goes from here to here. Let me try 2 different things. So I'm going to go 3-point arc. That's one way to do it. Now, if you want this transition to be smooth, yeah, I don't think it's going to let me do that. Never mind. I was going to try something, but this already looks like a snail cam. So what it is I have one radius here and a larger radius here. I've seen this done using a spline tool over here. It's a little harder for me, and it never comes out as nice as when I just do 2 3-point arcs. So if I do a 3-point arc once, and then I do another one twice, it tends to be a little bit bigger. Now, what's funny is, look at it. It's blue. That means it's not fully constrained. So what measurements have I not done? Let me move this out of the way. What measurements have I not done to this blue part? If you're not sure, grab it and see. Oh, look. So you know what I think comes out better? Look at this. You see how this does not look smooth or perfect? And this does not look smooth or perfect. But notice that this blue dot right here, this one right there that I turned to yellow when I touch it, notice that when it's on this line, the snail cam looks like the smoothest transition. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure that this blue line is perfectly lined up with that one. In other words, they're perfectly horizontal. Do you guys see that? Horizontal constraint. So I'm going to click this and click that. And oh, wait. Yeah, that didn't. Yeah, never mind. Control Z. Hey, look at it. Did it. Watch this, Control Z. Look what I did. You see how you can move this? But when I drop it here, it even put the horizontal constraint. You can see that little line, that little black flat line. Watch this, watch it appear. I'm going to drop down and there. It snaps to that spot. For whatever reason, that's also the horizontal constraint. You can see that flat line looks like a minus sign. But when I did it, it like inverted it. So I'm just going to do like this and let go. There, it's fully constrained. And it's got a smooth transition. Perfect. Now, just to let you know, snail cams can only move in one direction, because if you go the other way, you're going to break the stick. You know, like there's a stick follower up here. If you rotate the cam this way, it's going to break the stick. So it can only go the other way and let it drop down. Let it rise it up and drops down. Rise it up and it drops down. So it's got a very violent drop. But you can't make the cam go the other way because you end up breaking the stick. So let's go ahead and finish this. And oh, wait. Nope. I'm going to go back and double click this. I forgot to add the shaft. So right here we have the shaft. And it's a quarter. I always end up doing the angle there, don't I? It's a 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch. And of course, we want to center this square again. And we center the square by clicking the dot in the center, clicking this line, and saying that it's 1/8 instead of a 1/4. So half of the total width, that's all. And then do the same thing the other direction. And you can put these measurements on the inside or the outside, whatever. Technically, I think it always looks nicer on the outside than it does. And these usually go in the center of the measurement area. So that's it. There's our snail cam. Just go over here and extrude it 1/4 of an inch. And that's it. And go over here and rename it. Snail cam. And you guys probably remember how to do the sheets. What do we go over here? Create a drawing, right? Isn't that how? You click the plus sign right here, say create drawing. And then just use the ANSI-A. Otherwise, I think you have to click over here and find this one, but find the ANSI-A inch drawing. And then go ahead and just lay down all the cams. What view do I want? I want the top view. I think that's the top view that I want. Also, it might be too big, so I can double click on that view and I can scale it to half the size, 1 to 2. There we go. And that's done. And then go ahead and insert another one. Where's the insert? What do I just double click? Insert. Projected view. No, I want to insert. How do I insert another one? There's a way to do that. Insert new element? Is that what? No. Oh, here we go. Insert view right here. So insert view, and then we got to choose what we're going to bring. Eccentric cam. Wait, can I not lay 4 different ones on here? Oh, here we go. You have to click insert on this left side. There we go. Click insert, click hexagonal. Then of course we're going to go to half size, 1 to 2 ratio. And we don't want the front view, we want the top view, I think it is, for the way I have it anyway, so it looks like this. You know you screwed up if you take it and it looks flat, because then you're looking at it at the wrong angle, right? So here we go. And then let's go over here and go to insert view, click insert, and then click pair. And of course, we're going to go to the top or whatever view looks best. Oops. I'm going to double click this one because I didn't do it half 1 to 2 scale. And then I'm going to, here it is again. So if you want to see one last time how to insert a new shape, I go over here, click this little arrow, say insert view. Then I'm going to click this button right here where it says insert. And then I'm going to go to snail cam. And then of course we're going to change the view to the top view so that it's the bigger picture. You see the square? There we go. There it is. See, if I do a side view like the left side, it's going to be really flat because you're looking at it from the side. So the way I drew it, the top view comes out right. And then I'm going to do a 1 to 2 because I'm doing all of them a 1 to 2. So I might as well just do them all the same. And then there we go. I have all 4 on one drawing. If you want, you can add some text and write the names of them if you want. You know, like right here, you can call it the eccentric cam. And you can come over here and call this one the hexagonal pair what was this one? Snail? Snail cam. And then go ahead and just put your name in here. Mr. Swanson. Why does it do it like that? Like, can I make it wider? There we go. If it goes like this, you can stretch. You see how the names are on top of each other? You can stretch them out like that, turns out. And you can adjust where you laid them as well. But that's it. You're just taking a screenshot of this and turning this into me. Now that I know you drew all of them, and then you put them in a drawing sheet. That's all there is to it.